I was 70 years old, standing outside my own son's house, holding a suitcase that wasn't even fully mine anymore. And the last words I heard before the door slammed shut were, "You're not family anymore." I wish I could say that was the worst part, but what happened after that is something they never imagined. If you've ever given your whole life to someone, only to be forgotten when they no longer need you, then this story is for you. Because sometimes the people we sacrifice everything for are the same ones who walk away. But sometimes life has a way of rewriting the ending. A mother's life. My name is Margaret, and for most of my life, I wasn't just a woman. I was a mother first. Everything else came second. I had my son Daniel when I was 26. He was small, fragile, and from the moment I held him, I knew my life wasn't mine anymore. It was his. His father passed away when Daniel was just 12, a sudden heart attack. One day we were a family, and the next, it was just the two of us. I remember sitting at the kitchen table that night, bills in front of me, tears falling silently, and Daniel asleep in the next room. That's when I made a promise. No matter what happens, you will never feel the absence of a father. And I kept that promise. Sacrifices. I worked 2 jobs, sometimes 3, cleaning offices at night, serving coffee in the morning, and sewing clothes on weekends. There were nights I went to bed hungry, so he could have a full meal. I wore the same coat for 10 years, so he could have new shoes. Every school trip, every birthday, every dream he had, I made sure it came true. And every time he smiled, it made everything worth it. Or at least, that's what I believed. When things change. When Daniel got older, he started building his own life, and I was proud, so proud. He got a good job, met a woman, fell in love, got married, and I told myself, this is what you raised him for. But slowly, things began to change. Calls became shorter, visits became rare, and the warmth that used to fill the room when he saw me started to fade. The distance. At first I made excuses. They're busy, they're adjusting. But deep down I felt it, that quiet shift, that invisible wall. His wife, she was polite, but distant, cold in a way that words can't describe, like I was tolerated, not welcomed. The grandson. Then one day, Daniel called. "Mom, you're going to be a grandmother." I cried, not just from happiness, but from hope. Hope that maybe this would bring us back together. I started preparing immediately, knitting tiny clothes, buying toys, saving money. I wanted to be there, to help, to love, to belong again. The hospital scene. The day my grandson was born, I rushed to the hospital. My heart was racing, hands trembling. I walked in with a small gift and a lifetime of love. But the moment I entered the room, everything changed. The air felt cold, heavy. His wife looked at me, then looked away, and Daniel wouldn't meet my eyes. Then she said it. "We want this to be a moment for close family." I froze, confused. And then Daniel said softly, "Mom, maybe you should come another time." Another time? This was the moment, and I wasn't part of it. The night everything ended. I went home that night, trying to convince myself. It was just stress, just emotions. But deep down, I knew something had broken. Still, I believed we would talk, fix things, like we always had. But when I walked into the house, I saw my suitcase, packed, placed by the door. And Daniel said, "It's better if you find somewhere else." Just like that. At 70, I was no longer needed. The lowest point. That night, I sat on a bench, the cold air cutting through me. But it wasn't the cold that hurt. It was the silence, the emptiness, the realization that everything I had built, everything I had given, could disappear in a single moment. And I asked myself, was I ever truly loved or just necessary? A stranger's kindness. The next morning, I walked into a small cafe. I didn't even know why. Maybe just to feel human again. And the woman behind the counter looked at me, really looked at me, and said, "Sit down. You look like you've been carrying too much." And I broke. I told her everything, and she listened. No judgment, no interruption, just kindness. Rebuilding life. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. I found a small apartment, simple, quiet, but mine. I started volunteering, reading again, walking in the mornings, and slowly, piece by piece, I began to find myself again. Not as a mother, not as someone needed, but as someone worthy. Then one evening, my phone rang. It was Daniel. My heart stopped. For a moment, I was that same mother again, waiting, hoping. And when I answered, his voice was different, tired, broken. He said, "Mom, we need you." The realization. Life hadn't gone the way they expected. Sleepless nights, arguments, stress, and suddenly they remembered me, the one person who never walked away. The decision. I sat there, phone in hand, heart full of memories, pain, love, and clarity. And for the first time in my life, I chose myself. I said, "I love you, but I won't come back." Ending. Silence filled the line, and then I added, "You didn't lose me. You gave me back to myself."